So good evening, everybody. Glad to have you all with us. And today's topic is called shifting gears. I would like to thank Jobs for her for giving me this opportunity, and thank Gayatri for coordinating, Vinita and Gayatri. And I start my presentation now. Now, I have named this as shifting gears. So while driving a car, so why do we change gears? We change because we want to move ahead faster. Okay, so this seems to be the reason today for many of us to contemplate a career shift because we want to move ahead faster. And in the case of women, there are various other reasons. And this presentation is going to give you a guideline on how to plan a strategy for a career shift, especially after a career break or even otherwise. So why do women shift careers? Now, the most common reason for a career break or a career shift in the case of women is the change in their single status. And this results in a change in their family demands and responsibilities. Then some of them, they also relocate to another city after marriage or their spouse's transfer. Then childbirth is a major and long-term career break for women who are desirous of starting a family, and following which some of them also shift their careers. Then around that time, they start looking for flexible options due to childcare demands. Some people also have elderly care demands at home. Then the nature of the job, such as late hours, long distance to work, and also result in career shift among women. Then there are certain reasons which are specific to women who desire a career shift. Some women, they face sexual harassment at work. Then untoward instances such as illness of self or a family member, especially elderly care. Then there are other personal reasons like lack of interest in the job, sheer boredom. Then their inability to perform according to their own satisfaction or to the satisfaction of the boss, or inability to perform to meet the organizational goals. Then women also notice lack of opportunities for advancement, or there is gender discrimination or other forms of discrimination. They also think of a career shift. And a very common reason today for career shift particularly is when they get greater pay or opportunities or more amenities and benefits elsewhere. So this so I've gone through this already. And setting the stage, this is very important. You have to make up your mind, do you want to return to a full-time career? Why? Because there are various other options available today. For example, you can work from home, you can be an entrepreneur, and you can decide on your own timing of work. Then you can also look at flexi or part-time opportunities, freelancing opportunities. So given all these, why do you want to have a new career and a full-time career? Then you also have to decide on your career and personal balance. Like, would you be able to handle a career and the new situation? If so, then first you start with ensuring stability at home. So stability means you ensure that your daily operations are smooth. Like if you need a cook or a domestic help or laundry, so every routine in the house gets done without any break or any trouble. Then you also have to resolve constraints such as probably you may have to relocate nearer to the place of work, or you ensure reliable transport and other such things. Then you also reduce stressful circumstances by having proper help at home, counsel from seniors, and having a regular GP or a pediatrician and things like that. And you can also, before taking up a job, you can also request for flexi timings and work from home options on some days, etc. For example, you can ask them before joining a job whether you can work on Saturdays and Sundays, and then you take two other days off, something like that. You can you have to jot down all these things, why I want to work, what is it that will make me less stressful. So a very good idea is to make a journal or open a folder, or at least in your smartphone, you just make a journal entry. If you have left your earlier job for childbirth or childcare, then now you are returning to work. So what is it that you have to do? So you ensure that you have arranged for a reliable and safe childcare. Then in a lot of instances, if you have the capabilities, then you can ensure constant monitoring through a CCTV or adult supervision. Someone who an adult from your family, a family member, can supervise the person who takes care of the child. Okay, then this developing a strong support system is very important for a woman who has a family, especially children. And so you take support from everybody and anybody in your family, your friends, your domestic help, or daycare. And I'm sure you must have all heard of Indra Nui, chairperson and CEO of PepsiCo, and it's been circulated in the WhatsApp, quite a lot. She speaks about the importance of developing a very strong support system, at least during the initial stages when your children are small. So that will really help ambitious women to forge ahead in their career. And this is very important, creating a supportive family ambience and culture. Now it is left to the hands of the women, to really ensure that they create a culture, where everybody shares every family member shares the domestic chores. And when children grow older, this also helps them become independent, and there is smooth home management without any external help when your children grow up. We come to the most important and core, of this presentation. So rejoining, if you want to rejoin a different career or the same career, then this means you are adjusting to a newer and more evolved marketplace of skills and stepping out of the comfort zone. So here are some ways to retain your employability during the break so that the comeback can be as smooth as possible. So what is it? You need to research about the new industry and the field you'd like to re-enter. So once you research, you will develop greater insights into what is the new industry like, what is the field, what developments have taken place since you are out of work, and then you will also understand what is it that you need, what kind of skills or knowledge or information you need, so that you will be able to prepare yourself to meet those requirements. And you also have to proactively develop those skills. For example, if you want to enter print journalism, then you need to develop good communication skills. Or if you want to enter a PR job, then you would like to develop communication skills. You need to be very good at networking, and you have to be eloquent. So you need to develop. You can look at training in skills in a professional institute. Several institutes, very reliable and creditable institutes and universities, they offer short-term courses, part-time courses, internships to develop various skills. I'll come to that later. So that's one thing you need to do. Then you need to read up a lot about the industry, the field, your job you're looking at. You need to practice, and you need to talk to people in the field. Then, as I mentioned earlier, networking is very, very important. You have to network with people in the field, and you have to reach out to other women who have made career shifts and get tips from them on how to prepare for a career shift, how to make the right career move, what kind of contingencies these women are faced, and how prepared they were, etc. You can look for a mentor or a guide, who can give you expert tips on how to develop skills or how to get the information, from where to get the information, and what are the what is the nature of the job, what do you need, and what will the job give you, and a lot of things you can get from a good mentor or experts. Then you can also network with women in the same field, because there you will get inputs on exactly what is needed from you and what is their experience, and that is going to help you a lot. And definitely you need to seek the counsel of men in the field, because they will bring a totally different perspective, And so you need to talk to men who are in the same field, and kind of, expand your vision and your information, your knowledge about entering here. And once you have researched, you have made up your mind to join, and you have also gotten your information, established contacts, networked with people, then you have to look at yourself. Are you mind and body ready to take up the job? So today, I know I don't need to tell any of you that working out is a given. It's a hygiene factor. Everybody works out, some form or the other. Go to a gym or walk or swim or dance or do anything, but you need to develop enough stamina, because you have to balance both home and work. And it will be stressful to return to work after a long time. As a result, you also need to strengthen your mind. So yoga and meditation are very good for both of this, being flexible, developing stamina, and also developing the power of the mind. So take up yoga and meditation. And there is something known as mindful meditation. Even corporates are offering mindful meditation to their employees, and it's a very good stress buster. Probably you can also try to get trained in a professional yoga and training in school for both this and also mindful meditation. Okay, and I would like to dwell on this meditation because today, it's very, very important, whether you're an entrepreneur or you are a career person or a home manager, you definitely need to meditate at least a few minutes, 10 to 20 minutes a day. So meditation, it helps to de-stress, it improves concentration and memory, and by enhancing production of your feel-good hormones. So what are these hormones? There are some hormones in our body, like endorphin, serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin. So meditation helps to, trigger these hormones, and they make you feel good, especially after a workout. I'm sure most of you would have felt really good. So that's because these hormones are being produced. And cortisol, and a hormone which causes stress, now that gets reduced when you meditate or do an exercise. So both mental and physical fitness will help you perform to optimum levels at home and in office. Get your medical checkup done by visiting a GP, a general practitioner, and go for a test, at least a routine blood checkup you need to do to find out if you have any thyroid issues or sugar issues or anything. And you take health supplements, vitamins, whatever is recommended by your doctor. Then paying attention. These are all, everybody knows, but it's very important, and you need to note down and make a journal. And so you need to pay attention to your diet and eat a healthy and wholesome meal, especially if you're coming after childbirth. You would need this. And don't cut down on important foods because you need to lose weight or look good. Because if you're fit and you have good stamina and mental composure, you will naturally, look radiant. So I think you have to focus more on being healthy. How to snare the right job. This is very, very important. So we will now focus on the right career moves. So make informed decisions, especially when you choose the next occupation. You are making a career shift, and so you how do you make an informed decision? You need certain information before you make your decision. So what do you do? First, you do a self-assessment and find out about your own interests, work-related values, your aptitudes, your personality traits, and find out what occupation is suited to this. So there are several tests you'll find, standardized, reliable tests you'll find, such as personality inventories and psychometric tests. And these are also used by most organizations, especially the HR department, to find out about their potential employees, or for their own HR department for promoting employees. And if you have been called for an interview by an organization, make it a point to research, find out about the organization and the people in the top management, what values the organization stands for, how successful it has been, and You can also go to sites like Glassdoor that will give you detailed research about your salaries. Then some people also give reviews about the organization, the management team, how they are, the systems and procedure and all that. So based on these, you can come to an informed decision. Then again, you have more information here to make the right move. That is, you compare different organizations which are offering similar jobs, research the market trends for the said job and future predictions. So the outlook for the occupation you're seeking should look good. You don't want to join an organization that is, in 5 or 10 years that will develop a downward trend, or the field in which the organization operates also plummets. And we all know what happened with the IT industry in the US. Of course, that is something which nobody can predict. But then you can always have, ballpark idea about, where the particular field is headed. For example, if you take the media, we can say that the print journalism is kind of coming down. The online, media is picking up. So these kind of trends you will be able to decipher by researching and networking with people. Then check on the work demands and nature of the job, whether it will lead to burnout or boredom. So, for example, repetitive and monotonous jobs may not suit everybody. Whereas some individuals, they revel in completing such jobs, and then they go about their own business as soon as they finish. So you have to make up your mind, like, whether you are mentally, you will be attuned to taking up such jobs which are monotonous. Then also learn about the stress involved in the occupation. For example, whether there are stringent deadlines, whether there are difficult targets, and how you are placed to meet such stressful demands. Then since if you have come after a career break, or you want to go to an entirely new career because you're making a shift, then probably you can also look at being a little flexible about the monetary compensation till you gain expertise and experience. So at the same time, don't seem too eager or undersell yourself. Your compensation should be just a little lesser than the market rates. That is if you have come after a long break. But if you are well equipped, you can look at the right compensation for that post. Okay. Yeah. So I would like to, come to a case study, and the best I thought was my own case study, where I had made a major career shift. So initially, I was working as an officer in the Foreign Department of State, Bank of India. So I left this flourishing career due to, an inconceivable, exigency, situational exigency at the home front. And then I had to, when I decided to come back, I had to make a career shift due to health constraints. So I chose the next career based on my own aptitude, my interest, my ability, and something that was conducive to my health and home front stability. So that was, these were the considerations I undertook before I decided on my next career move. So what did I do? How did I get prepared for the next career? So the beginning was something of a trial and error. Once I developed insights into the field, it was a planned approach. So after trying to, since I had a health constraint, I decided to take up writing as a career because that was a hobby where I had received some awards and accolades during my university days. So I thought, why don't I look at that seriously? And so I decided and started writing in English. And then I found that it was not getting me the response which I had wanted. So I looked around and I said that, okay, so I will look at the regional setup and see what I can do here. And since I was not very conversant with the regional, the language where I'm in Chennai. So what I did was I picked up the necessary reading materials, to launch as a regional writer. Then I met up editors of the prominent magazines and asked them, what is it that you are looking at? What can I do some fiction? I came to know that there were quite a few people writing features, fiction, stories. So they were looking at more technical articles and one of the editors suggested that I do an article on banking, the NBFCs, which was very prominent about 2 decades ago. And then I was also commissioned to do an inspiring, so a motivational series in a magazine. So since I did not have much information about and knowledge about the local language, I wrote out my first manuscript of my first article in English on NBFCs. Then I used the guides and translated it into the regional language. And then I took help from a couple of college girls to correct and write it out neatly. Those days, about 2 decades ago, we didn't have a computer. I mean, we had, but we were not using it extensively, and in the regional language especially. So that was done. It was submitted and it was published. So that's how my career began. And I will put down all this cogently to so that you'll be able to understand the planning and the strategy that went into it. Okay, then I understood the market, that articles on technical subjects are more in demand than stories and features, and did a lot of research and took on newer and newer subjects. So I never refused any offer. When people asked me, can you write about education, educationists, or when people asked me whether you could write about hospital chairman, I said yes. I never said no to anything. Went and read up, researched, and then I prepared my questions and wrote articles. So as a result, I then decided that I would specialize also. So I specialized on interviewing people, then stories on women's issues, health and medicine, education, industry, retail, and celebrity interviews. So I would like to outline how I strategized and why. So at a personal level, my time was my own. I could plan my time based on the chores for the day, both professional and personal. For example, if I had to write an article, then I planned an interview at a different time and did my writing at my convenience. So it was time planning was very useful when I did when I worked like this as a freelancer initially, and I could take care of my home and also the continual medical attention for myself and my young daughter. So here I would like to, talk about a situation where, there was a grave emergency at home. So my daughter, who is a diabetic from the age of 8, so she had to undergo an emergency appendicitis operation. And for the Hindu, I was solely responsible to prepare about 4 broadsheets of articles on healthcare, where I had interviewed chairman of hospitals, prominent hospitals in Chennai, and I had all the materials with me. So what did I do? I sat in the hospital room, and after my daughter was brought back from the operation theater, I sat and wrote out everything. By then I had a computer, but I couldn't go home. I wrote out everything, and in the evening, when the situation was better, then I rushed home, typed out and sent it and met the deadline. So I'm just giving you an idea that how if you plan your career, then you can take care of any exigency that will come up. Okay, and working from home was of course less expensive and time saving. And yeah, so recently actually I met another person who has come from the US. He is running a very flourishing marketing and sales consultancy. And when I asked him, what is the setup like, organizational setup, he said, it's all virtual office. So that saves a lot of time, money, and he takes people on contracts. His organization is huge with virtual offices across the world. So that's how he has been able to manage a flourishing career. So these possibilities are there, where you can have virtual offices and work very, very productively and efficiently and make your profits. Okay, now winning strategy, professional. So what do you do? If you want to advance in your career, you always try to do something different. So You identify areas where you can excel and go beyond normal practices. So I can say that I'm one of the first few journalists who established telephonic interviews with celebrities. Normally, any celebrities or politicians or chairperson of educational institution, they don't give telephonic interviews because chances of their getting recorded, misrepresented, and misperceived and written about, especially in our field in journalism, is very high. So I established this trend by infusing integrity in my work. So when the celebrities understood that I am writing exactly what they are saying, and they knew that okay, if she interviews me, then I'm safe. So establishing trust and integrity at work, that played a huge role in my establishing the new trend. Then when I interviewed celebrities, especially I used to do the cine celebrities during festive season, so I did not resort to asking standardized questions. So I always gave a human touch and tried to unearth their other qualities instead of asking cliched questions like, how do you celebrate and all that. I always try to ask, how meaningful is this, festival for you and things like that. So by being different from the market, you can establish, you get noticed, you get visibility, and your writing, really reflects something different. And I used to receive good feedback from these celebs, and I further worked on it to improve my performance based on the feedback the celebrities gave me after the articles were published. Then I took on challenging written assignments that others would not normally take, such as preparing handbooks on income tax, insurance, home loans, real estate, education, retail, and industry. And I also developed expertise in some in the different subjects, then effective communication by continuously upgrading my knowledge, reading, and self-studying. What is important is to develop a vast professional network. This is not only in media and communication, but wherever you go, this is going to be very, very helpful. You can exchange notes on what is happening in the profession, the current trends, and that will give you a lot of insights into the field. Then I also became a member of the professional press club, and because of these experiences and my strategies, I gained visibility as a journalist writing on niche subjects. So how did my strategy and all my years of freelancing, how did it help me establish a media enterprise? I could establish on my own terms, and with an effective collaboration with an entrepreneur for about 2 years. We reached, there was greater reach and a lot of impact on the society. And we brought out a magazine comparable to international standards with this collaboration. And we had online presence, and we could also interview eminent citizens across India and the world. And we also I was able to set up India's first participative media venture that is basically involving the participation of the readers, the citizens, and so that was one of the pioneer attempts. Then was able to train and develop several writers across the world. I even had a writer from South Africa who was contributing articles. Then we trained interns in media and journalism. One, in fact, some of them are highly well placed. One is going to do PhD in Oxford University. He is working as a professor in the Xavier's College in Bombay, and someone has started a PR company, and they're all holding good positions. Then I'm presently a contractor with the Times Group, freelancer for the Hindu and a few online portals, and I write on niche and technical topics. And I have done broadsheets and tabloids on specific topics such as education, real estate, health, medicine, etc. This is not to really talk about myself. I'm just giving an idea on what all one can do in the media, and what are the possibilities that one can do. For example, being in the media, I was not confined to only writing. So we also I produce programs on social and women's issues in the television. They are in need of a lot of people to give them scripts and concepts. And then we took on international events like SAC. We did the media coverage and did all the media write-ups and various other event organization. And then we were able to take on publishing of magazines and papers. And we took on a turnkey project, contracts for printing and publishing of newspapers, brochures, and prospectus for universities, medical journals, hospitals. And we are also doing content development and editorial work for online portals and various organizations. For example, I've even ghostwritten a book on a prime minister, which is called The Social Innovator. And presently, very interestingly, I'm writing on astrology. I'm doing this in a bilingual, both regional and English language, for an artist who is holding an exhibition, which will be used in a website and in a book. Then I also write speeches for the chairperson of industry. I write for the governors and MPs. Then write for citations of various awards like Padma Award. So the wide, the gamut of work possibilities, if you are good in content. Then we also I brought out a paper called Andaman Times for 2 years for a client. The entire paper, printing, publishing, the content was done by me, designing and everything. And then we also brought out a special book on diabetes for November 14, World Diabetes Day, for MD diabetes specialties, and special supplements for newspapers, education, retail, entrepreneurs. Then I do PhD theses and do proofreading and editing for novels, etc. And finally, I have initiated an informal setup, which is called Citizens for Harmony, Amity, and Integrity, which is involved in the education of poor children as well as teachers in school. And I'm also a communication and motivation speaker. So now I would like to sum up, and you will get an idea of how to go about this career shift. So first, you have to decide why career shift. Then resort to a self-assessment. Then you research about the field, about the organization, develop skills, and network with people, ensure home stability, ensure fitness, and you're good to go. I think you are now very clear on how to go about a career shift. Just a minute. I'll just go to the previous slide once again. So these are the points that you should have a look at.
Thank you.
And I think with this, I close the presentation. Any questions? Welcome.
Thank you, Swati. That was an amazing presentation. And I'm sure everybody would have got an idea as to what they need to seek for before they do a career shift. Thank you once again.
Just waiting.
Okay. So Swati, when you say that they need to, while they're doing this career shift and they've done the research, but what is the level of confidence that they need to have while attending the interview? Should it be like a fresher or a person who's got some X amount of experience?
Definitely, if you have had experience, then that should show. I mean, you have to have the confidence because you have done your research. You know about the fields now. You have networked with people, and you have also made up your mind that this is the career I'm going to have. And then you have also probably taken some short-term coaching and training, and prepared yourself. And then when you are coming, even if it's a long break of 10 years, if you are abreast, if you keep yourself abreast of the knowledge and developments in that field, that should give you the confidence, because you know your worth, you are committed, you will be dedicated, you will do your best. And so you should definitely have the confidence, and also demand what is due to you. Very, very politely, not demand, basically ask for what you want, what you are worth.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, anyone?
Any questions, ladies? Okay, so when they get back to work on a career shift, they're looking out for the new field, and when they're giving this interview, how is the opportunity? Is the employer equally, interested in hiring these women who have done a career shift with zero experience in the new field? Is it welcoming?
So the trends have changed. There are many people who look at in any prior experience in a job. is going to give a person the confidence, the required personality, personality to handle office, or handle corporate needs. And there are many organizations who themselves give training and orientation, a brief orientation. And so any experience is good experience. It is really not necessary that you should have experience in the particular field if you have the aptitude. And most organizations, they also actually give these personality inventories, and they try to unearth whether you're a fit for the particular job. Once that has been established, and all you need is an orientation and possibly a little bit of training. And definitely you have to do your homework by being knowledgeable about the latest developments, and any little brushing up, I'm sure, organize. Like for example, take Oberoi Hotels. So they are giving a stipend and training for about 6 months to 1 year in the hospitality industry in various departments. Or Amazon, Restart, they have a program. And so there are various very big organizations and MNCs that are taking women, because all they are looking at is the qualification, prior experience. And even if there's no experience, it's fine, as long as you are a confident person and willing to learn and work.
Thank you. So there is a question from Manashri, who says, "What challenges will be faced in IT now? Who is interested to shift a career in new technology?"
Okay. Now, IT actually is a very, very fast developing field. So you need to be. If I don't know whether this person has had a career break, he just wants to shift. So if she has had a career break, then she should know what is the latest, that is happening in the IT industry, and she should know the latest language. She should know the latest development in a particular field of choice. Like there is something like big data. Now that is if she is aware of it. So if that is a very developing field. Does she have? If she's interested in that, or if she's interested in HTML or Java, there's still scope. Actually, IT industry, all corporates, they need IT specialists. There is a lot of scope, and all that is necessary is to select which field is less stressful and where you can perform well, and go there and see what is the latest that is happening. IT is a very, very rapidly changing field. It is important to be aware and know the latest that is happening in the field. Then I think nothing will be a challenge.
So Swati, when they're trying to take this career shift, say maybe let's take it for journalism itself.
Yeah.
When they're taking this career shift, they have written a lot of blogs and all of that. But how can they increase the visibility of their blogs and whatever paperwork they've done?
There are two things. One is, their own writing, their blogs. What is it about? Are they writing about something that is, I mean, like, see, the thing is, there is a tendency for people to write what they feel about, certain issues. Now, how important is this issue for the society or for readers? So if you choose a topic which is being most debated about, discussed about, or which is very useful, for example, about the same presentation, so how to do well in a job interview. Now this is an interesting blog where at least some people will come and read it, because it makes sense to a lot of people who are trying for a job. So you select a topic, so what you're writing about and how is your presentation. So that is the first part. Now the second part is, how are you going to market this? So there are various methods of social media marketing. If you go to the internet, you will know how to make yourself visible. So you have to enhance your visibility by putting up in groups, and asking people to share. There are various means by reaching out to more people. Go to the most popular sites, have an online presence. You should have an online presence in the top social media sites, and where you can post for public views. And I mean, these two are very important. Now I think by networking, if you have a wide network of people online, people across the world, asking them to share, that will also help you. And also you can contact people in the same field, say journalism, your friends, who can put it up in, in their own social media sites. Like, for example, just as a joke, if you know Amitabh Bachchan and he would retweet, then you have reached everyone.
Thank you everyone for attending this webinar, and thank you once again, Swati. It was a quite insightful webinar. Thank you.